Hi guys, welcome back. How are things going on? How is the business models coming up? How is the ideas growing now? Yes, you guys have been working, but the world being too disastrous mode, lot of problems in the Western Asia, and you have the earthquakes, devastating earthquakes in Japan yesterday. It's been bad times for the world nowadays, with the nature and human beings both playing their own roles in trying to make it uncomfortable for us to live. Yeah, but this is the best time for any business founders to start up, and also the people who are already in business to scale up their business. Yes, there are a few ifs and buts in that always. So scaling a business is possible, is feasible only and if you are serving premium customers. If you are in the lower end of the ladder, serving a very low level of customers with a very bad minimum margin and looking at volumes to sustain your business, then this is not the time to scale. This is the time to pull back. Because any recession, any world economic problems, any natural calamities, it affects initially the lower strata of the customers who buy from you. Then it comes to the middle and then it grows up to the higher strata where it is the premium business, premium customers. So always, if you're targeting premium, this is the right time to scale now. Coming for startups, if your customer profile or the ideal customer profile, ICP as we say in a short, is premium customers, then this is the best time you should be launching. Because one of the reason is you will not have much of competitions now. Many of your competitions who try to build up something and sell the same kind of product to a bit lower strata of society and customers, they will probably stop or descale their growth or launch processes because they are looking at a stable economy and a growing economy where they can come out and scale up or do the validation. Now, with all this said, today we are going to probe into, is your MVP probably wrong? The reason why you are not in a position to validate your customers? Or are you stuck with the MVP development process and you are not sure whether this will be the right MVP to validate my customers, or am I going to lose money here? You probably don't know because the losing money is a big question, which is a dilemma that you can get an answer to only when you have it out, when you have your MVP out. When you start getting customers or you find that your ICP customers are not showing interest or they came in for a short time, ran it out, tested it out, then went missing. Right? Have you thought about these scenarios while building your MVP? Have you really validated your idea? That's the ideation phase that we call. Have you really done that? Think over. And one more thing, keep a note and a pen in hand. It may be needful for you as we go ahead. You may need to jot down a few things that you can ponder over after this webinar and this video, and then see how you can change or run over those things and get into a growth phase. Today we are tackling a very critical issue that affects many startups and product teams. That is building the wrong MVP. The reality here is most of the MVPs many a times miss the mark, and missing a mark really cost your hard-earned liquid money. It's not shares, it's not paper money, it's hard-earned liquid money you lose there. Now, in the next 1 hour, we will try to run through and explore how to validate your MVP concept before you actually invest heavily and start building the whole thing. By the end of this, you will have some practical tools to test your assumptions and avoid costly pivots there, here and there. This is about being smart with your resources and building products that actually your ICP needs. Okay, let's start with the reality check now. First one is, if your MVP feels big, I repeat, if your MVP feels big, it's already wrong. No question out of it. MVP, the full form itself is minimum viable product, and you have crossed that minimum. You've gone above that. Now in this, you try to be honest with yourself about how you are building your products. The honesty is what brings out where you are in the current stage. No one is asking you, no one is hearing from you, but your soul, your internal heart needs to know honestly whether if these things are affecting you. If your MVP is feeling big, you're already wrong. It's time to stop, look back, review what has happened, and then see. Actually, an MVP should be uncomfortably small. It should be uncomfortably small. I mean uncomfortable. Yes, the goal of the MVP is to test the assumptions that you have with minimum effort and not to impress anybody. See, you are doing a business to earn money, to get more customers, to grow, to scale. You're not doing it to impress anybody, okay? You're wearing a dress maybe to impress anybody to an extent, but not in a, you are not building up a startup, building up a company to impress anybody. You're building up it for your own self. So you have to be honest there. Then the second one is, most founders don't run out of money building. You may be against what I say, but think over. Most founders here don't run out of money just by building. They run out of money by correcting and reworking on that. It's because you do not finalize, put a bold line that this is my MVP, that's it. Whatsoever happens, whatsoever feedback comes, I'm not going to go upon this MVP unless I validate this, unless I have X number of customers who are with me, who are paying me, and that is what is validation. Having lots of users is not validation. In today's world, if you do some marketing, you send it across to your friends, your old classmates, your school social media friends, your school friends, college friends. You may have them downloading your application. Some may at least log in and see or register and see. Some may even not do that. So those are not your right ICP customers. Your ICP customers are the people who will use your application and then be ready to spend money on it or pay you for that, and they actually do the payments. Now this is a story you might recognize on these lines. You are built for 4 months of focused development, a good team you have been building in 4 months, and when you go out into the market, you find there are no users, zero signups, no engagement from the signups. Now what can this be? Is it there is a problem on your MVP? Is that some small feature has a bug? No. It's just because it's the wrong problem. You realize the need which was there, not the product. The product was way off. It was not what could solve the need or fulfill the need that you found. Rather than it was a product which was totally offhand and your actual problem was sidelined there. The bells, whistles, dashboards, colors took priority rather than the full product that you want. This isn't a rare failure. This is normal, common one. It happens many a times. Founders pour months into building only to discover that they have been solving a problem that nobody actually had. The product wasn't the issue here. Product was fine. But the thinking was, your ideation was not done properly. You did not validate, you did not speak to the customers, your ICP people. This is one of the stories that many people listening to this video will recognize that yes, this is one of their problems. Now walk through a three-step journey here. That is, one is build for 4 months, second is no users, third is the wrong problem. Does this ring a bell for you? Now, you can't blame the development team, you can't blame the MVP tech support team, or you can't blame the marketing team. It was wrong right from the ideation, right from the initial stage when the idea popped up. Now, what do founders believe? This is very important. Okay, most of the founders has a belief system in them. Like we say, no, there is a story, if I get back, which I heard a few years back. I'll tell you, who is the king of the jungle that we learn in our schools? Probably a lion. Anybody else, any other animals who can be the king of the jungle? No, because we all learned that the lion is the king of the jungle. Is the lion the fastest, the biggest, the most muscular one? No. The elephant is the biggest. Fastest are cheetahs. Are they the most high IQ one? No. Then why is lion the king of the jungle? Someone asked the lion, went and asked the lion, why do you think you are the king of the jungle? Here, the lion came back with a story. See, now you see an elephant is coming in front of me, walking towards me. Now, what does the elephant think? Oh my goodness, a lion in front of me, he is going to eat me, right? That's what the first thought that comes into the mind of an elephant. So huge, lion is so small. What does the lion think? Wow, an elephant, it's the yummy lunch for me. So basically, when someone asks the lion, who told you are the lion? You are the king of the jungle. Lion says, I think I am the king of the jungle, and so I am the king of the jungle. That's all. It's the mindset. Same way, a lot of founders have unbelievable mindsets. They don't validate that. They just, over a period of time of their growth, their career, their environment, they learn these things off the fly, not intentionally, unintentionally from colleagues and friends, that I just need to build it fully. My application, I just need to build it fully. Half built doesn't count. There's a saying that the first reading doesn't count in a book. But here, half built doesn't count. That's wrong. Founders think that the users need the whole thing to understand it. The whole functions, nicely laid out, good finishing, lots of bells, whistles, lots of dashboards, analytics. Same way the founders think, more features is more value. A richer product will attract more users and signal credibility. I have worked with a lot of founders who have these ideas, who had these ideas during the initial growth stage, initial MVP stage, I did say, not even growth. Then they feel that yes, users will automatically come after launch. Build it and they will come. That's how great products work, right? Yes, Facebook doesn't need to put an ad. You go and reach Facebook. But we forget, where did Facebook start from? This one mindset has to shift. This thought process for the founders has to change. And if that changes, the change is what is going to bring them success. Understand? An MVP is not a smaller version of your product. It's a test of truth. MVP is not something like you have a product is a car, and MVP is not something you have engine and seat. or maybe a half version of your car or a smaller miniature version of your car. No, that's not an MVP. MVP is basically tester of truth. The goal is not to launch something complete. It's never. The goal is to learn something real as fast as possible at the lowest possible cost. It means create the real solution for the real problem that you found and connect that to the ICP, that is the ideal customer profile for this problem. And you create only the basic real problem solver in this, nothing else. And that's how you can test it. Now, if I say why most MVPs are wrong, these things you may need to note down. You're building on assumptions. You don't have any real user validation. You are building for a customer that exists in your mind. You're building for a customer that exists only in your mind. You have never spoken to any of your customers that you feel is your customer also. You don't even speak to them. And then you try to solve everything, all of the things. Too many features, not focusing on anything. When everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. There's a saying, you can do something, but not everything. Now here what happens, you are trying to do everything, whereas you are doing nothing. This is what happens here. And you are ignoring user behavior. You think instead of observing. See, always there is a saying when you, if people, someone who must have learned or read some literature books like Shakespeare or someone like that, what does the education system tell there? It tells, before reading a Shakespeare, try to read the environment and understand where he lived, how he lived, what was the social conditions, what was the economic conditions, what was the political conditions. You then look into the book or his writing and understand what he wanted you to understand. Else you are totally on a different plane. He wanted you to understand something and you understood something else. That's why we say in literature you can write a criticism only if you have read the background of the author in detail. Same way here, you just think that this will be my ICP. You don't observe. You don't talk to anybody. What users say they want and what they do are rarely the same. These two different things. You run a survey for 200 people, ask them, maybe 100 people will say they like this idea, it's nice, they want that. Now, when you make them give it, will they really use it? It's a big question. Because it's always easy for a human being to advise somebody what needs to be done, or to find faults, or find errors, find bugs. People like doing it. Everybody, they like doing it. But if you tell them, pay, use it, and tell me what the works are, they won't do it. And these people who pay you and tell you what they need is the real ICP for you. These are your real validated customers. There are two more traps that kill MVPs. It's an emotional attachment, like a baby, you say, my idea is right. That mindset, that my idea, I know it. It's my business. I know what is needed. I know my customers. That I know is what makes founders defend assumptions instead of testing them. Got it? That I know everything on this. That mindset is what makes them defend their assumptions. Rather than testing it real time, you stop listening to signals that contradict your vision. You listen to only signals that support your vision. And actually, the contradicting signals is what you need. That's the most important thing because that can make you look back, review back into what is going wrong. Is there something that is really wrong? And then there is no feedback loop. You build, wait, and then hope. Hope is not a strategy. Without a structured way to collect and act on feedback, you are flying blind. Yes, we can by fly wire with computers, but no, this is real customers, real human beings who are going to use you. Every week, without a feedback loop, is a week of compounding mistakes. You are going to keep on increasing your mistakes. So if you ask me what's the best way out of it, I did say before you start writing a single line of code, talk to at least 20 or 30 of your ICP that you believe is the ICP and ask them what they need. They will tell you what they need. Don't ask your friends, family, or schoolmates or classmates. They can't tell you. Ask your real customers. They will tell you what they need. MVP is not wrong because of coding. MVP is wrong because of thinking. There's a wrong notion that most of the founders have. If there is any problem, if the customers are leaving, dropping out and going, if your customers are not coming back, not using your product, it's just because the coding is wrong. No, it's because your MVP is not solving the problem that you got down to solve. That you promise that is being solved. That problem is not being solved. There are lots of bells and whistles in that, but the real problem is not being solved in the way it needs to be solved. If I have a headache, I take a tablet and it tells me I can solve your headache or can reduce your headache or mitigate your headache in next 1 week. Will I go with that? Or will I go with a tablet that can mitigate my headache in next 30 minutes? Think over. This is what happens with the MVP. It's because your ideation has not been correct. You are not done due diligence while doing the ideation. You just jump started and got into coding. Now, what are the fixes? I'll give you a 6-step framework. You can note that down. By now you already have an idea. If you have sincerely thought about this, honestly thought about this, where do you stand? You need not tell me, but you know where do you stand. Now, I can advise you a 6-step framework which can help you get back on track. It can let you know whether your MVP is heading on the right track. This is not theory, this is not class, this is a process that separates founders who pivot cheap from founders who pivot broke. Simple. Now, the step 1 is, as we have been talking, define one problem. Not 5 problems, not a platform, not a system. Define one specific painful problem experienced by a real human being on a regular basis. Not once in a month or once in 6 months. This is what you need to do. Have you identified that? If yes, note down in the paper what that one problem is. Now, clarity at this stage saves everything downstream, okay? If you don't have clarity at this stage, what happens is you have vague problems and vague products being created out of that, and no one pays for that. I'll give an example. Too broad and problem. I help businesses grow. Can you identify what your ICP is out of this? The exact ICP? No. If I make it specific, I think freelancers lose 3+ hours per week chasing late invoices. And I solved this. So you know who to target. Now, if you can add one more line here, chasing invoices greater than $1,000. So your ICP is a bit more streamlined. You know, people who work and invoice above $1,000 are my ICP. And that to freelancers. Now you can even break it down further. You can give a geography. You can give us a specific framework, a specific technology. So finally you have a number of maybe 500 or 1000 or 5000, 2000 customers in this world who are your real customers for whom this one problem is real. Now how easy it is? You know exactly who it is. You know how to get hold of them. You can start talking to them. You can start connecting to them. And there you go. Number two, identify one user type that I mentioned. We were talking about this earlier in the last slide. Like, break down your ICP to the minimum possible, or maybe 5 or 6 steps down. If you can do that, break down to geography, break down to type, break down to age, break down to male, female, break down to whatever you can do, break it down. Now, I had a friend who used to say, Arjun, he was a founder, new founder, and when I asked him, what's your ICP? He told, my ICP is for everyone who wants to be more productive. Now, how do I find this everyone? Where do I find this everyone? How can I target this everyone? And what he did, he built features for students, for office workers, for business owners, even freelancers. And after 6 months, nothing worked. No one used it seriously. Because any product cannot be for everybody. It needs to be for somebody, and that somebody is who we need to target and find out. You know what happens? Unless you feel this product is made for me, I don't purchase it. That's a human criteria, human psychology. So this is one thing you need to take care. Have you done that? If yes, you are the lucky and 50% of your problems are solved. Note it down. Let's go further. The next is the steps 3 and 4. That is build and validate. Now what you're building, what is the single thing a user must be able to do? Simple. One single thing that solves his problem. Strip out everything else from the MVP. Take a knife, chop it out, chop out everything. Now, any other functionality, if it doesn't enable that one problem solving, cut it out. Once that is done, your MVP framework is ready. Number 2 is validate first. Talk to users, show mockups, get reactions before writing a single line of code. That's what I mentioned. Talk to at least 50, 60 users of your ICP. Get them on calls. They will be happy to do that. Show them mockups. They will give you feedback. Ask them what is it that they need in this to solve this particular pain. And focus on the discussion on only this particular pain. Don't let them go around and bring in additional pains along with it. Focus on only this one pain. If I'm solving for you, what else do you need in this? For you to use it and pay for that. And what is the amount that you're ready to pay for that? This has to happen in the mock-up stage. And then put it out in the market and start getting feedbacks. Early feedback, even if they are harsh feedback, is a gift. It costs you hours, not months of effort and money in that. Always remember, early feedback is the best one. Some of the feedbacks, at times, you may even get that this is not going to work. This is not a real problem that I have. If that's the feedback you get, you need to think, sit and think back whether the pain is right or the ICP is right. One has to be right. If the ICP is right, then you are working with the wrong pain. If your pain is right, then your ICP is wrong. Find out the next customer who is your real ICP. Got it? I hope you noted down these things. One core action, validate first, and early reactions. Get it fast. Our next step is watch the behavior, not opinions. Opinions are free, very easy to give. People like to give good opinions, bad opinions. If they feel they don't want you to make you unhappy, they will give good opinions. But try to see what they do. There are users who say, that's a great idea. I did definitely use this. An interesting concept. These are normal signals you get. But what users do, they try to use it immediately. They are the right customers. They ask, when can I sign up? If they ask you, yes, this is your ICP, this problem. They have a pain which they want to reduce with this. They refer a friend unprompted by you. Yes, they are referring the friends within their circles of your ICP. These are the signals that doesn't lie. It shows that they need this. The first one is useless signals. People are just being polite to you. Understand that. They just don't want to make you unhappy from their mouth. They're being nice to you. The next is, one thing that normally no founder wants to hear or wants to do, but it's a real deadly fact. Launch ugly and learn fast. A polished MVP that launches in 6 months teaches you less than an ugly one that launches in 6 weeks. The market doesn't reward beautiful. Market needs usefulness. That's what it rewards. The payment is for the usefulness of an item, usefulness of a product or a service, not because how beautiful it looks, how nicely it's packaged. You can always make it good, nice packaging. When you know that it works, when you have customers paying for that, for your scaling, you can always make it nice, beautiful, pretty. Keep on working it. Because that's going to keep on giving you money. Always understand speed is greater than perfection. There are many founders I have worked with my last 1.5 decades of experience where they go behind perfection and drop out the speed. Then at the end of 6 months or 8 months or 1 year, they find that there are no takers for this. All the money has gone down the drain. It's like buying 2000 or 5000 X on the concept that I am going to sell it. If there are all vegetarians in the area or your ICP customers, who do you think will need egg? Problem is you never asked them before. You never tried to find it out before. Do you think you can consume all these 5000 eggs? No, it's all dead waste for you. It's money down the drain, nothing else. Now I'll give a real example of what actually works, and I'm sure you have noted down the 6 important points that you need to take care of while building your MVP and going to the market. These are your homeworks for you to ponder upon and note down the paper and see if you're on the real track. If you're on the right track, as I mentioned, your success is 100% guaranteed with this particular angle. There are other things that can come in as plug and pay to help you regenerate and speeding up the process of scaling. But these are the basics, the mother of the engine. Now, what actually works? Here's a real example. The first one is 10 features were planned. The founder had a clear, full product vision mapped out, a big documentation. Then finally, he reduced to one workflow, stripped everything to a single most critical user action. He had 10 features. The full vision of the product has been mapped out. For the MVP, he stripped it down to one most critical user action. Build it in 5 to 6 weeks or 4 to 5 weeks. Shipped it fast with minimal overheads and a lean team. But I'll tell you, the lean team doesn't mean the cheap team. A lean, energized, strong, capable, and experienced team who knows how a product is built, what needs to go into that, and the team that you trust and the team trusts you also to make sure that you go a long way together, because once the product is shipped and validated, it's real tough time for you guys, both of them, both the development team and both the founders. Get the lots of feedbacks that coming in, filter among those, and then start growing that. Go further for the next planned features that you already have. You may have to remove some features, add on some new features as per the customer feedback. So the real user feedback from a paying customer is going to give you better direction. And that direction is where your product is going to be purchased and used. So you come to a stage that you have a proper feedback, you have validated customers before your budgets are gone and you don't know what to do. Think over this as a real example. Work as per this. It's very important. Now, by this, what his founder said was he saved 4 to 5 months. He validated early instead of building a full feature set. He has 9 times less features. Went from 10 planned to 1 focused workflow. He wasted $0 for rebuild. No costly rewrites. No pivoting or changing out of the features. Before the deep commitment, getting into the remaining 9 features, you already have a pure customer validated and approved flow. This is what we need. And you have the right team with you, you can go on developing fast. Scale your team. But always have the initial team to support you. Those are the guys who know the in and outs of everything here. Right from your product, your vision, your idea, everything they know. They are the best guys. Transferring knowledge is possible. It's not that it's impossible. But human knowledge, you need. It's always better to have the guys with the earlier knowledge to support and take you ahead. Human brains are always faster, better, emotional, reliable than AI. I'm not against AI, but AI has its limitations. It doesn't have a human characteristics. Now here, I'll also give you a checklist before building what you need to go. Before that, now challenge your own thinking. I was telling across the meeting here, note down the points, jot down the points. Think about, are you building something users need or something you like? A good question. Is this, if this feature is removed, does the product still work? For example, if you remove 2 back seats from a car, will your car still work? In case your ICP are the college students who want to go to college and come back as a driving mechanism. What if the core idea is wrong? That's a very great question, deep question, which many a times does not give very nice, soothing answers. It can kill your whole idea at times. They are uncomfortable questions, but they are the necessary ones. If you answer these questions, you have the clarity, and the urgency of your pain comes from your honest answers, not from building more. So note down these questions, get the answers written in a paper, go over that the next morning to see if these answers are still valid after your brains had a nice sleep, rested, a different perspective in the morning. Now, go through this 5-6 points as the pre-built checklist, and this should be before you even write a single line of code. Okay? I want to help you save money, help your emotional fitness, help you get good night's sleep, rather than spending what you have, your money, your time, your effort, your emotional comfort with your family, your personal emotions all drained out. No, I want to be strong. You should be strong. You should be capable and know where your hard-earned money should go and with what methodology I am going to be successful and earn more money that I put into this now. So, what exact problem I am solving is the number one question or the checklist that you need to write down. It's just one sentence, no jargon. If you can't say it simply, you don't understand it. Very simple. If you can't define or explain the problem that you're trying to solve in one sentence, you still don't know your real problem. You need to bring it down to one sentence. Number two, which are the people who are facing this daily? That is your ICP. Name the specific person, his job title, his context, his frustration levels, his financial conditions. Note it down. Then, where does he go? How does he spend his time? What does he read? Make a customer persona. Exact customer persona who should you be your customer. Now, the next is, what is the smallest usable version that proves the idea, not impresses investors? Don't think about investors and investment till you have validated your idea. The customers have started paying for this. And if before that, if you are going for funding kind of things, you are going to shed a lot of equity for getting very small amount. But for this also, these three questions are very important. Now, the next question is, how will I test this in 2 to 3 weeks? Not 3 months, 4 months or 5 months. Not after launch. Now, how are you going to test this out in 2 to 3 weeks? Get a list of your customers from the customer persona which you have created as point number 2, and then pick up your phone, talk to them, email them, get a meeting, talk to them, understand, is this the real problem? How tough it is for them to handle this? Are they willing to spend money for this? Get it from them. They say, hear from the horse's mouth. Exactly. Hear from your customer's mouth what they need, what their problem is. Then the last and final thing is, what will I not build right now? That is what, as I said earlier, pick up the chopping knife, meat knife, and remove all the functionalities that you think will not affect the core functionality. It should not affect the core functionality or the core pain. You should, whatever you have made in the MCP, should be able to solve the core one pain problem. That's all. Remaining all, remove it. See, saying no to features is a real skill. It's not that easy because it's the emotions that play a role in that, not your brain and logic. Emotions play a role. And practice it before you start that. Okay? Now, there are two types of founders. One is, if you're already building, And second is if you are about to build. Whatsoever it is, if you're already building, pause and check. It takes one honest afternoon to stress test your assumptions against this framework. Or a weekend is sufficient. So test it out against the framework that I gave you. That weekend could save you 4 months and lots of money. And if you're about to build it, don't rush blindly. The pressure to move fast is real. But moving fast in the wrong direction is the most expensive mistake in the early stage. Because you are draining out resources. Your runway is getting shorter by the hour. The money is getting drained out. Take care of that. Now, ready to get clarity? We have MVP clarity session. You can set up a call, go to a website and set up a call there. We have a few questions before that. Go through that. We will work through you, go through an idea with a validated, structured validation lens, and you can leave with a clear direction. For a clear reason, why not to go in that route? Okay? And the idea validation discussion is the other one. Bring your concept, your assumptions, and the target user. We will stress test it honestly, both of us together. It's not one way. Both of us together will sit together and test it out. Whether it really stands the time when you are stressed on that. When you put your stress to test it out. No pressures on this. It's all NDA protected because we don't do anything before signing off an NDA. It's not a sales pitch, no obligations, just a clarity before you spend more money. Your MVP doesn't fail after launch, it fails the moment you build the wrong thing. Sounds good? Write this down on a diary on the top line. This should be the headline for you. Put it up on your mobile screen. Your MVP doesn't fail after launch. It launch fails the moment you build the wrong thing. Start building the wrong thing. Okay? Thank you. I hope this framework will empower you to build an impactful MVP and avoid the common pitfalls that 80% of the startup founders fall into. And for more insights and personal guidance on your product journey, we invite you to connect with us. Visit our website, consultwithkrishna.com. You can find it in the description. Click on, go ahead and connect with us. We can have a one-to-one session. Sounds great? I wish you all success. Have a great validation, get customers, get funding, and go and scale. Let's make money together. Okay? Bye.